They can't stand it, guys. They can't stand it. The deep state is working overtime to try to ruin Virginia Giuffre's what she stood for, to who she was. That they're trying to shit all over it, and not on my watch. And I understand that her family, they may not be able to say anything at this moment. If they're like actually trying to get investigation, trying to get justice, there's probably only so much they can say. So that's why I'm going to leave her family out of this, because they're on the end where they are trying to get real actual justice, and my heart goes out for them, because it's going to be a very uphill battle with the types of people that they're contending with. But I just wanted to come out here and make my voice heard, make my voice known on everything that I've witnessed thus far, from someone who's very much on the outside of this whole situation looking in. And I remember I watched all the interviews of Virginia. I didn't follow social media that much, because I didn't follow anyone on social media. But I watched her talk enough. I watched her, right? The things that she stood for. I heard her tell her story multiple times on multiple different interviews. I heard her say it every time. And what they are trying to paint right now is absolutely disgusting. This is disgusting. Look at what they said just one day ago. Virginia Giuffre was about to lose multi-million payout from Prince Andrew. Do you guys hear? You guys see this? You guys see this? How is she about to lose this money? Exactly. How is she about to lose this money? Well, if you believe the mainstream media, which I don't, but according to them, she was about to lose all of her settlement money, supposedly, because of this other victim that was suing her. There was another victim of Jeffrey Epstein, I don't know if you guys know, who was attempting to sue Virginia. And Virginia admitted this. She talked about this several times. The way it worked with Jeffrey, right, and with Ghislaine, they didn't just go out and like grocery shop for girls, right? They didn't do that. You can't do that. I mean, hello? Especially in the rich neighborhoods they were living in. So what would they do? Virginia was a good candidate because they met her while she was working at the Mar-a-Lago spot. And she was 16, I believe, when she met them. I believe. Well, that's what they would do then. After they would groom them and, get them accustomed to their lifestyle. And this is what people have a lot of trouble understanding about this. And this is why people get confused. But let me explain something to you, how it works. Okay? A 15-year-old girl, 16-year-old girl, 17-year-old girl, to be honest, pretty much any girl under the age of 24, in my opinion, because your brain isn't developed until then. But anyways, that's a whole nother discussion. I'm not going down that rabbit hole. But for the sake of this video, Virginia was 16 years old. 16. Okay? Now, you take a 16-year-old girl. If you're with a 16-year-old girl in the company of trusted adults who she thinks are trustworthy, and when you're at that age and in a place like that, I'm sure it would probably be easy to assume that because someone's money, meaning that they're responsible, they've been able to keep their money, and maybe it's easy to compartmentalize these people as being trustworthy. I'm trying to put myself in her shoes, to be honest. At 16 years old, it would be very easy for one of them who was in power, who, like Jeffrey, very much was in power, be very easy to manipulate that if they wanted to. Right? If they wanted to. And he clearly did. And, in my opinion. And so, right, get it, right? Like, so you think you're getting paid to go do a massage. That's like an actual job. You know what I mean? That's not prostitution. Like, it's a legal way to make money. It's a good income. Masseuses, people, he turned it into something disgusting. Okay, it's an actual legitimate business. People getting their muscles massaged, right? This is what the pretense was for these girls. This was the pretense, right? You're 16 years old, you're getting paid for a massage. And to be honest, no 16-year-old girl thinks anything weird because they think 16-year-old girls think of themselves as adults. They want to think of themselves as adults. So it's flattering to them when these older people, pay them to do a job and talk to them like they're an adult. You know what I mean? That's what they want. That's what I'm just saying from the perspective of I used to be a 16-year-old girl. Oh my God, it was like, what, a long time ago, 20 years ago. But I remember those feelings. You know what I mean? I could see that this, oh my God, and then when you actually get her alone in a room like that and you're telling her to do stuff, like what do you do? Like all these things are going through your head. And to be honest, at the end of the day, you think, well, it's just going to be horrible if I run out here and tell on them and tell the police. This is going to make life hell. I'm going to lose my job. No one's going to trust me anymore. She's probably thinking all these things. And let's not forget, she'd been abused before. And these are the type of girls they like to go after. So and then this is what they do, right? Get this. That's not enough. Once they get them accustomed to their routine, then they groom these girls that they find to go scout other girls. They'll even get paid twice as much. Not only will they get out of having sex, which I'm sure is not pleasant whatsoever with these two creeps, Ghislaine and Epstein. I'm sure, oh God, I don't even want to go into that. So then they would go and find other girls, unknowingly put them in these situations. And now we got a victim, quote, a victim who is suing another victim for this. And I'm trying not to judge her either, but I question, because she knew, if she is an Epstein victim, she knows how this works. And it also makes me sad, because if she is an Epstein victim, maybe this is the only way she can get money for mental health or whatever. And it just, I don't know. It just, something doesn't feel right about it, because I feel like if she truly wanted justice for herself, what, I don't know. It just, something stinks about it. And it could be many things. Maybe she's just greedy. Maybe it really did happen. Like I said, maybe she needs money for mental health. Or maybe, just maybe, this is just speculation, opinion, maybe someone else is paying her to do this. I mean, just a thought. It's something to consider. I mean, we've seen this tactic already just this past year or two with Jay-Z paying all these people, supposedly, allegedly paying these people to sue Tony Busby, allegedly. But you see, the thing is, I think we all have been worried ever since Prince Andrew settled out of court. Because you know how and not necessarily for him necessarily, as much as it is for the royal family. They don't give a crap about him. They don't give a crap about her. They give a crap about their reputation. That is all they care about. And what he's done has been a big fat stain on it all. I've got clips of his old interview that I'm going to go through after this video, because there's a lot of peculiar things that he was saying in this interview that I mean, we all missed, I myself included, until you go back and watch it. In hindsight, some of the things that he was saying, it's a little sus. But anyways, we'll get into that when we get into that. But so anyways, I know I'm getting off track. But so they get these girls, right, to go find other girls for them. And then those girls find other girls. And then eventually, like, it's creating, it's keeping itself alive. You know what I mean? I'm sure it got to the point where Ghislaine and Giuffre barely even had to solicit anymore, because this is the way they set it up to be. This is the way they set it up to be, and they were just handing these girls lots of money, and and I have no patience for anyone calling these children, which is what they were, calling these children prostitutes. They were not prostitutes. They were children. That is not a thing. If you're calling a child, they're not a prostitute. They are being assaulted. That's a big difference. Even if they're consenting to it, they are children. They can't consent by definition to adult things. I'm sorry, guys, my chair is really squeaky, but I just wanted to point out, this has been something they've been setting up for a while now. Look back. Look at the date here on this article. April 1st, 2025. A little, about like a month and a half ago. This was not long, I can't remember the exact date when she was in the hospital, but it wasn't long, and they were posting this, you know, because of her tweet or her Instagram. I don't know what it was, an Instagram post or a tweet about her having 4 days to live. Now, that whole situation with her getting hit by the bus, that's a whole nother suspicious thing. Like, none of it adds up. No one's statements add up. The news aren't adding up. The police reports aren't adding up. The citizens' testimony isn't. None of that adds up. So I'm calling them all liars until I get something more definitive. None of that made sense. But anyways, but you can see in the media, they were already trying to like set up this narrative that she was mentally falling apart. That she was just like falling under the pressure or the burden of being, of living with the pain that she had to deal with. And all this other crap. Like, you know, after she had already won her lawsuit and everything else. Yeah, she lost her kids, but that was temporary. Like, if you really look into it, she was gearing up to get them back. I don't believe for a second. Like, I'm not even going to entertain this suicide notion. No, she did not kill herself. I don't believe that for a second. She would have never left it to chance what would happen with her kids. Ever. I don't believe that. But they're trying to set that story up anyway. And I remember, if you guys just look back, it all starts to make sense when you look back at these old interviews and these old news articles. Remember when they were trying to discredit this photo? They've been trying to discredit this photo for years, saying that it was a fake and this, that, and the other. Well, if it's a fake, I'm sure she's got better professionals than anyone they know, because I have yet to hear one single source other than Ghislaine or Prince Andrew say that photo is a fake. And I'm sorry, but I don't think Ghislaine and Andrew are very credible at this point, in my opinion. So I definitely believe this photo is real. And then there's creepy ass Ghislaine standing there in the background, getting money for every time something like this happens. I have no doubt. But just wait till we get into those interview clips, guys. I mean, like, if you ever needed any evidence whatsoever at all that Virginia was telling the truth, you know what? You need not look any further than the interview this jackass gave. I'll link it in the description. You go watch it yourself. I mean, I've never seen anyone so horrible at lying in my life. Like, he really did himself no favors by doing that interview. It would have it would have been much better if he had just shut up and not talked to anybody. Like, it was bad. It was so bad. I'm surprised, like, his security detail or whoever didn't like stop him. That should show you right there how pompous he is. Like, they're even scared to stop him. You know what I mean? You know what? Just let him tell on himself. Fuck it. Let him tell on himself. But yeah, we'll get into that in a minute or two. But the point I wanted to make with this video was, no, I don't believe for 1 second Virginia killed herself. And they're going to try. They're going to try every single narrative in the book between, God, who knows what other lies they're going to come up with. But this woman did not kill herself. The evidence has come out is just too clear. She was writing in her journal, guys, about wanting to fight, about being ready to fight. Oh yeah, and this one article that slipped in amongst it all. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, that's such a beautiful picture of her. She was such a beautiful woman. Let me find it. Where is it? Ah, okay. Here we go. On May 12th, which was yesterday, at 12:14 p.m., not sure which time frame it is, Epstein's abuse survivor, Virginia Giuffre, defended Prince Andrew in FBI tapes, says Prince Andrew's ex-girlfriend. And she's the one, in case you guys don't remember, a month ago, who was like calling Virginia like what did she say? She called her like a drama queen or something. No, she said that if something did happen to her, it would be her karma. I believe that's what she said. I'll have to double check that. But yeah, yeah. So, take it with what you will. Consider the source. Consider the source. But then the same day, May 12th, yesterday, an hour earlier, this article comes up. Will bombshell Epstein videos show Prince Andrew with sex slave? This article was in between them all, and it's a very quick article. I'm going to read it real quick for you all. Hold on, let me pull it up. Okay, here we go. I got it pulled up on my laptop. All right. Prince Andrew fears that, quote, tens of thousands, unquote, of videos taken by his pal, billionaire pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, will show the royal with Virginia Giuffre, according to a royal source. I don't know who the royal source is. They don't say, but, like I said, it's mainstream media, so take it with what you will. But I'm still going to read it. According to U.S. Attorney General Pam Bondi, the FBI is reviewing the videos for evidence to be used against Epstein's coterie, I think that's the word, of twisted, wealthy friends. And I'd really like to think that's why they haven't been released yet, is that they're investigating some of these books. I really hope that's why. I mean, I'm going to be hopeful. So, until I learn otherwise. I mean, I hope someone goes down. It'd be about time, right? Okay, let me not get off track. In the days before she took her own life, yeah, right. So exactly, take the source how you will. Longtime Epstein, oh my gosh, I hate the way they talk about her. They call her a sex slave. Giuffre filed, days before she died, she filed legal papers outlining her belief that authorities have in their hands footage of her having sex with men in the hedge fund head cases circle. She filed legal papers outlining her belief that authorities have in their hands footage of her having sex with men in the hedge fund head cases circle. That's what they're saying. She filed these papers just days before she died, according to Yahoo News. Yeah, I can't find these myself, but Yahoo News is reporting it. So, okay. U.S. President Donald Trump has vowed to make these tapes public. Has he vowed? He seemed kind of hesitant when he was asked, but I mean, I guess he has since the first time. I mean, I don't know. We'll see. To make the tapes public. And sources said that the release of the bulk of the files is now being worked on. And according to this royal source, Andrew will be sweating over their release. Oh my gosh. If you know, you know. Watch the whole interview. Because, yeah. Andrew claims that he can't sweat. But anyways. I know, I shouldn't have explained that joke. It should have been self-explanatory. My bad. Let me continue. Andrew will be sweating over their release. If there's anything in there that involves him, it would pile more misery and humiliation on him, a royal source told the UK Sun. Giuffre has claimed for years that she was sexually assaulted by the Duke of York when she was just 17 and encouraged by former Epstein gal pal. What? Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, they mean she was Epstein's gal pal. I thought they meant she was Virginia's gal pal. I was about to say, hold up a minute. Hold up. A gal pal is someone your age. But okay, anyways, they're talking about Epstein's gal pal. Disgraced socialite Ghislaine Maxwell. Epstein, who killed himself in August 2019 while awaiting trial on sex trafficking charges, was notorious for having his far-reaching real estate holdings wired for video and sound. So yeah, it would make sense that they would have a tape of that if he had all of his stuff rigged up like P. Diddy. They're just ultra more secretive about Epstein's than P. Diddy's. The serial sex abuser kept thousands of tapes, allegedly to use as bargaining chips if he was arrested or being investigated. Federal agents seized the tapes during raids after Epstein was arrested. You know what? Pause for a minute. This would explain quite a bit. Because think about something. She is the fourth person to die who's connected to Epstein, including Epstein himself. What does that tell you? Well, it tells me, and this is my own personal opinion, that this was something that went way far beyond Epstein and implicates probably more than one elite person. This took like some kind of conspiracy of some sort. I mean, my opinion. But you see, it seems now the desperation is getting a little thick. Maybe they know they're being investigated. Maybe they got a notice that they're being investigated. I mean, according to Big Homie CC, you get a notice that you're getting investigated by the FBI. I didn't know that. It's like, what? They actually tell you that they're investigating you? That's odd. I didn't know that. But apparently that's a thing. So, just hear me out. Hear me out. And not only, there was the prosecutor who happens to be the prosecutor in the district where the CIA headquarters are, in all that area, she mysteriously died in her apartment at like age 30 some years old. Mysterious circumstances. I'm just saying, a lot of people are that could possibly. Oh yeah, and please let me not forget the Pizzagate shooter. He was just killed by police just a few months back. And I did a video on that police report, which is so shady. There's like no details in it whatsoever. And there's conflicting details at that. But yeah, that was weird as crap. That whole police report. So yeah, all these people are just dying. Who are connected to what? They're all connected to what? In my opinion, deep state sex trafficking. My opinion. Like I said, this is all my opinion. Maybe it's all unrelated. It's possible. Listen, I mean, I've been wrong before, but it is very odd coincidence that all these people are just dying suddenly. It's a lot of people. A lot of people. Okay, let me finish this article. Journalist Barry Levine, who wrote the seminal Epstein book, The Spider, Inside the Criminal Web of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, said that Giuffre revealed a specific personal detail about Andrew, alleged to be, quote, highly embarrassing. Giuffre claimed she had sex with the prince on 3 occasions when she was underage. Andrew has categorically denied the allegations, but that didn't stop him from paying her more than an estimated $20 million in an out-of-court settlement in 2022. Pause. I wonder how much that victim was suing Virginia for. But anyways, Giuffre was one of the earliest and most prominent accusers of Epstein and Maxwell. She was 16 and working as a towel girl at Trump's Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach when she met Maxwell, who offered her an opportunity to work for Epstein as a massage therapist. They seemed like nice people, so I trusted them. Wait, see, what did I just say earlier? 16 years old, of course she's going to trust them. So I trusted them, and I told them I had had a really hard time in my life up until then. I'd been a runaway, I'd been sexually abused, physically abused, Giuffre told BBC. That was the worst thing I could have told them, because now they knew how vulnerable I was. From her first day with the couple, Giuffre, back then Virginia Roberts, was groomed to sexually service their carnal needs along with their friends. She said, it started with 1 and it trickled into 2 and so on. Before you know it, I'm being lent out to politicians and academics and royalty. Meanwhile, in the dark days before her death, Giuffre was, quote, extremely distressed, unquote, over fears that another Epstein victim suing her in court would take her millions. Yep, this is according to Yahoo. Giuffre, 41, was being sued by artist Rena O, whom she alleged was Epstein's girlfriend and one of his recruiters, saying that Virginia was one of his girlfriends and recruiters. Yeah, bullcrap. I'm sorry, honey. She was 16 years old. Okay? And I'm sorry for whatever happened to you, but Virginia was a child too. Okay? Her money stemmed from the lawsuit against Prince Andrew and payouts from the Epstein Compensation Fund. In addition, she was said to be depressed over the implosion of her marriage and not being allowed to see her children. And like I said, we've just since found out that she's been fighting to get her kids back. So that was like open-ended. That wasn't like definitively she could never see her kids again. It wasn't like that. Okay, in addition, I just read that. Virginia was extremely distressed in the weeks before she died, a friend told the Daily Mirror. She felt like everything she had fought so hard for was going or gone. And you see, this is why you don't ever trust the media, because whoever this friend was, or associate, or whoever it was of Virginia Giuffre, probably had a lot more to say other than that. But that was just the one little snippet sentence they chose to add in their article. I mean, that's just my opinion, because I've seen them do it to people. Like, totally take out of context everything they tried to say by taking a few words out of what they said and quoting them without including the context. Like, it's very easy to do. It's very manipulative, but yeah, it's the mainstream media. It's what they've always done. It's what they've always done. So like I said, but they did give us some information. I don't know if we can believe this information or not. Because like I said, I haven't found these legal papers that she supposedly filed. But I don't know. Maybe I'll try under her maiden name or something. I don't know. I'll look into that a little more. But in the meantime, stay tuned, because I'm going to be reacting to a couple snippets of an interview Prince Andrew did. And I broke it up into snippets so that way I don't get in trouble. I'm going to be pausing it a lot so, I don't get in trouble and all that other stuff. I don't get paid to do any of this, so, this is all free. I don't get money for any of this. because I think that ruins integrity of reporting on stuff. That's in my opinion. And if I don't say something's my opinion when I should have, I can admit when I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Or if I'm wrong about an opinion, I can admit that too. And like I said, I don't know any of these people. So with new information, my opinion's always subject to change. However, though, with all that said, I know it came from Virginia. She said she would never, ever, ever do anything to hurt herself. Ever. She said, for the sake of my children, do not let this go. Do not forget that I'm telling you this. For the sake of my children. That's what she said. So I feel the need to remind everybody this constantly whenever I see bullcrap smear campaign articles from the CIA. Yes, I'm saying it, from the CIA and all their minions. We all see you now. You're not invisible anymore. Tell on yourself. Keep telling on yourself. But with all that said, please sign and share the petition in the description to defund and dismantle the CIA. And I will follow Virginia's example. I am not suicidal. I will never hurt myself in any way. And I'm a very capable driver in every sense of the word. All that good stuff. So yeah, please sign and share the petition. Thank you guys. Stay tuned for the Prince Andrew interview reaction. Thanks.